Broadway beats. Broadway beats. Broadway beats. Broadway. Listen to the Broadway beats. Broadway makes you wanna move your feet. Everybody's tapping into everything that's happening on Broadway beats. Broadway beats. Broadway beats. Broadway beats.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge, and welcome to Broadway Beat, our weekly half-hour behind-the-scenes look at the very best of a New York theater on Broadway and beyond. This week we have a whirlwind show. We'll drop by Feinstein's at the Regency, where Tony Award-winning legend Carol Channing is making her debut engagement through October 22nd with her one-woman show entitled The First 80 Years Are the Hardest. We'll also take you to the opening night celebration of the new off-Broadway hit, The Great American Trailer Park Musical, and chat with the cast, which includes Linda Hart and Tony Award winner Shuler Hensley. But we start things off by visiting a rehearsal for the new Broadway musical, In My Life, which is written and directed by Joseph Brooks, the Academy Award-winning composer of You Light Up My Life. In My Life, which is playing at the Music Box Theater, is billed as a funny, funky, and passionate romantic musical comedy about two young lovers who are unwitting participants in God's first reality opera.
Start on the journey of life, put them in an opera, they're doomed. Love and lust, pretty good stuff, but put them in an opera, they're doomed. Synchronicity? No. Duplicity? Ah. The light of the silvery moon? Eternal bliss? No. Remember this, put them in an opera, they're doomed.
Every day I'm on my feet, and every day I see things that aren't quite right, so I'm always trying to figure out how to make it sort of great. And I change words around, change whole scenes around. I thought it would go pretty much the way that I had it, and it hasn't gone that way at all. I've added 5 songs and gotten rid of another 4 or 5 songs. I've changed lines. I've changed whole attitudes. That was the part I didn't think that would happen. But with these actors who were so good, and they speak those lines, you say, oh, wait a minute, that's not the right thing to say. And I don't think she should cross that, and I don't think he should be feeling this. So you're on your feet all day, and you're always thinking, and I think when I get home at night, and, you know, it's a kind of thing we just can't say, all right, at the end of the day, I'm going to go home, and that's at the end of the day. The day continues on. So I think that was the hardest part.
It seems easy for you to write songs. Do songs come easy for you to write?
Yes. I've been playing the piano since I've been 5. I went to school and I learned it well. It's easy to write, but it's hard to get it great. So I go over songs a whole lot to get it perfect. The same with this. I mean, I would agonize over two or three like words to get those words in the right order. So yeah, that's the answer to your question. Is yes, it's easy to write songs.
In My Life takes place about towards the halfway point in the show. It's for the first time where we see Jenny and JT kind of like think that this might work out. This odd coupling, this odd love affair might really be something for the first time. Not This Day is when JT is getting sicker. I don't want to give away exactly what it is, but when things aren't going well for him, this is towards the 3/4 through the show, almost towards that latter end, and you kind of don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if he is going to make it. You don't know if Jenny and he are going to stay together, and you know, we realize that the heavenly powers that be, or for the first time, have a play in like what happens to these tragic lovers.
Well, talk about what this journey's been like for you with working on this piece and having Joe Brooks here, and just, you know, it's a different type of musical. It's a really heavy book.
Yeah, it's very heavy. That's actually what attracted me to the project, and I always feel like I do better with pieces where there's not as much singing and there's more acting. That's kind of my strength. And I love the piece. I love the honesty. I love the simplicity. I love that I can tackle a character that is so conflicted and so bizarre. And for a musical, that's not, you know, not common. And Joe has been wonderful, very collaborative. He's allowed us to collectively create, and he's created a wonderful atmosphere in this room for us to do that, and he's just been wonderful, and the cast is great. Everyone's just really talented. It's my first Broadway show, so I'm just happy to be here and be working, and you know, it's been a great time.
And I really relate to Jen, and I think she's such a common character that you meet in New York City, in that she's a kid who comes to the city with so much to offer, with amazing degrees, and but she can't find her place yet. She just hasn't figured out where to put all that energy and all those smarts, and I just think I know about 1 million people like that in the city who are just trying to find exactly where to put all that. So I love that. I think it's really truthful.
You know, it was interesting to watch it. It's a really heavy book, but these are real characters. They're not characters, they're real people.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you're two people among millions of people in this big city.
Yeah, I love that. I think that so often you might see a story like this told in a play, but not so often in a musical. And I love that we're not shying away from the book scenes, that we're really investigating them, and sometimes even improvising to find stuff that's just so real between us, and that's been great.
Well, talk about the chemistry with Christopher, because that's so hard to find sometimes in a show, and you two really seem to have it.
Yeah, we really do. From the get-go, like I said, we auditioned together, so we knew it immediately, and I think Joe did too. We have true chemistry together. We have a great working relationship. We're really honest with each other, and we just have just sort of a zingy energy between us, which you can't manufacture. It's just really real, and I think we both feel really lucky about that.
Broadway beats. Broadway beats.
Tony Award-winning legend Carol Channing is making her debut engagement at Feinstein's at the Regency through October 22nd with her one-woman show entitled The First 80 Years Are the Hardest. Channing first became an international star with her breakout role of Lorelei Lee in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. In 1964, she made theatrical history when she won the Tony Award for her portrayal as Dolly Levi in Jerry Herman's beloved musical Hello, Dolly. We dropped by her opening night celebration at the Regency, which is an evening of song and humorous storytelling as only Carol can do.
I'm just a little girl from Little Rock. We lived on the wrong side of the tracks till a gentleman took me out one night, and after he taught me wrong from right, we moved to the right side of the tracks. Then someone broke my heart in Little Rock, and I up and left old Arkansas. Like a little lost lamb, I roamed about till I came to New York, and I found out the one you call your daddy ain't your pa. I was young and determined. I was wined and dined and ermined. Every night opportunity would knock. And now that I'm known in the biggest banks, I'm a-going back home and give my thanks to the one who done me wrong, the one who done me wrong, the one who done me wrong. I said the one who done me wrong, the one who done me wrong, the one who done me wrong in Little Rock. Oh, I feel well, they were so welcoming. They were as happy to see me as I was to see them. Oh, what lovely people.
What a wonderful, wonderful show.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
I loved it. Absolutely loved
Didn't
it.
mind that I kept forgetting where I... Oh, that didn't bother you.
No, because this show is on your terms. You deserved it. It's so different than anything we've ever seen before.
Oh, really? Oh, well, all of our lives are different from anybody, anyone else we've ever seen before.
And talk about how wonderful it felt getting your Tonys tonight and your Foreign Press Award again.
They were stolen. I thought I'd never see them again. Isn't that something? Who got that done? That really is a beautiful thing to do. I'll have to thank Michael Feinstein.
Now, tell me what it's been like. You've been touring this show across the country. Tell me what the audience's reaction. You've been all across the country. What has it been like, again, playing to such an intimate room?
Well, they're very lovely people. Of course, they don't expect to see me at this age, but so they're just so welcoming. It's wonderful. But I'm going into giving a foundation, giving my own whatever I have. I'm going to give because I've been made a Doctor of Fine Arts by the University of California, Stanislaus. 23 divisions in the state of California. I'm going to every one of them and donating a foundation to those who seem to be interested in the theater, in the arts, and I'm going to do, what do you call those, master classes? You see, I don't know anyone else who has played over 5,000 performances, and I want to pass it on to the younger generation and the next younger generation, and then I feel it wasn't just a performance. I'm able to pass it on. I learned and learned and learned with 5,000 performances and how to keep it fresh and all that. I want to pass it on to the younger generation. So they're letting me do it. Well, of course, I'm giving them the foundation.
We were there for your 4,500th that Wednesday afternoon at the Lunt-Fontanne Theater when Nathan Lane presented you. Do you remember that in New York when you passed your 4,500th performance of Dolly in New York?
Right, in New York. Then we went on from there. I believe we closed in Austin, Texas. Well, we went on from there to be over 5,000. Isn't that something? Oh, Richie, I'm glad to meet you. My name is Cecilia Sisson. S-I-S-S-O-N, Sisson. I starred in the first all-talking picture, Mississippi Melody. I had been on the silent screen for 7 years and had worked with Wallace Beery, Buster Keaton, C. Aubrey Smith, and many others.
I cannot tell you how much fun it was. I mean, that woman is so astounding. And of course, for me to be here to present her the awards that were stolen from her last year, and they just arrived today, the Antoinette Perry Awards, or commonly known as the Tony Awards, that were taken from her, and the Golden Globe Award. I mean, it was, and she is so funny. And she's just so out there. It's like being in someone's living room. This show has to go to Broadway.
See, I told her it's a show on her terms. You know, we're so used to seeing everyone does the same sort of thing. This was like sitting in a living room with her on a sofa, with her telling stories and just singing for us.
Absolutely. And of course, that's the way, you know, when you think of the persona of this incredible woman, that's what you think of. You think of a woman who just keeps on talking, doesn't stop, and just things fly out of her mouth, and that's who she is, along with this incredible sense of humor and timing that does not stop. I could listen to her for hours and hours, and I couldn't stop laughing.
Long as you keep 'em way off balance, they'll never spot you got no talent. Razzle dazzle 'em. Razzle dazzle 'em, and they'll make you a star. Bye, thank you.
Veronique, Veronique, Veronique. Oh, Veronica, Veronica. She closed her door, she stopped the war, she don't say yes, don't live to duress. She saved the town, she don't lie down. She turned the tide with fiery parade. Vive la France, vive France, vive
The Great American Trailer Park Musical was a runaway hit at last season's New York Musical Theater Festival. Well, it just opened to rave reviews at the Dodgers stages. We dropped by their opening night celebration to chat with the cast and creative team. This new musical has a book by Betsy Kelso and music and lyrics by David Nels and takes place at Armadillo Acres, a North Florida trailer park. A storm begins to brew when Pippi, a stripper on the run, comes between agoraphobic Jeannie and her toll booth collector husband Norbert. And this storm ain't any old Florida hurricane.
At first I was doing a lot of sketch comedy, and which is very different. And it was early for me, you know, writing-wise. It was early in my writing career. I was still developing a voice. And the idea of a full story, 2-act musical, you know, I mean, full stories still intimidate me. It's a lot. It takes a long time to develop something like that. So at the time, I kind of thought, I don't know, I don't think I'm the right person for this. But he insisted, and I'm glad that he insisted. And it, you know, it was a lot of trial by fire, a lot of trial and error. You know, I mean, honestly, I've been learning how to do it right up until recently. You know, you never stop learning, but this particular go-around has taught me a lot about the structure of a piece. I mean, when you have the luxury of all these previews, you can really watch every night with all this great material, but you want to put it together the right way. And that's, you know, that's the thing I've kind of learned in this go-around. But It definitely takes a while. It's a lot of elements to pull together. You know, the music, the lyrics, the scene work, and then you add all the production elements. It's a lot.
It's kind of the world that I'm from. I'm more of a, you know, a rock and roll country songwriter, and you know, and I have a stupid sense of humor, and it's the same sense of humor that Betsy has. And we used to write stupid songs on the bus when we were in tour in Europe 10 years ago. The most ridiculous stuff. We wrote a musical about a town full of hermaphrodites. I don't know what it was, but it was fabulous music. But, you know, just ridiculous. And it's good that we both share that sense of humor. Even when things got rough during this whole process, we could look at each other and, you know, say something stupid and, you know.
Homemaker, king maker, lawn breaker, ball breaker, earth shaker, sex maker, hair maker, just scratching the surface of a trailer track. I live this side of the tracks. We live this side of the tracks. We are poor and we're tired, and that's the top two things that are required here on this side of the tracks. We're what society lets slip through the cracks, but who cares? We don't. We live this side of the tracks.
Well, Badass Betty is something that I am really excited about playing, because for the first time in my career, besides doing my one-woman act, I get to do all the things that I grew up doing, and that's singing gospel, singing rock and roll, singing country music, ad-libbing, talking to the audience, and it's very rare that you get to do all three of those things in one show. So it's really fulfilling. I told my mom and dad today, at last, you know, I get to do some of the stuff I did, you know, as a kid growing up, when my father and mother are both ministers and have a church, and I grew up singing gospel music. So it's really great, and playing Badass Betty is just a forum for just being the boss.
Oh, Jeannie's so wonderful. I mean, she's an agoraphobic. Let's just start there. The poor child hasn't left her trailer in 20 years, and her husband's having an affair with a stripper next door named Pippi. I mean, it's all very humiliating, really. But she's great, you know. She's got so much heart, and she's sweet, and I usually play real bitches, so it's kind of fun for me.
It's so funny. It's like, it's weird to talk about her, because it's almost like, it's really kind of like, it's me, but it's not me, you know? I'm obviously much more serious and a little crazier in real life, but Pickles came so naturally to me. I read the script and I said, oh my God, I know this woman, this girl. She has a lot of heart, and she's a real person, you know? And I think if I was in the trailer neighborhood and I knew Pickles, I would love her, because she really she can't hurt anyone. You know, she sometimes has an attitude, but all she ever really wanted is to have a home and a family and a baby, and you can't take her too seriously, you know? She's a follower, she's not a leader, she doesn't apologize for that, and she's girly, and she's just kind of a hometown girl, and it's great to be able to play someone. You know, I have nothing, you know, I'm not from the South, I'm from New Jersey, I'm a Jew-Rican. I'm the farthest thing from Pickles, but I found her, and I'm really lucky that, you know, we found each other.
Well, you know, it's always fun to create a role. I've been lucky enough to do that a couple of times, but, you know, we had a lot of, our director gave us a lot of leeway to do what we do and bring what we're good at to the roles. So we had a blast kind of working on the parts with her, you know, and developing what the characters were and what they could do and how far we could go. And Sergio turned me into a pole dancing, high kicking, you know, showgirl. So it was really fun to get to do things that people don't normally expect me to do, you know what I mean? And that I don't get to do. I don't get to be funny. I don't get to dance often. I kind of am the person you hire and go, okay, sing. So I got to really flex muscles that people don't necessarily know I even, you know, have. So I'm excited about that. I get to really show off all the stuff that I think I like to do, you know what I mean? I hope people like seeing it, so.
Like this day never happened. Oh, I wanna make like this pain I feel is gone. myself strong and move away from what's wrong. I'm gonna make life a nail and press on. I'm gonna make like a nail and press on.
Norbert is the dream role for me because being a big guy and having a big voice, I'm usually cast as the villain, and to have he's sort of a guy with a heart of gold who gets caught in a situation that sounds nice to begin with, two women fighting over him, but in the end it's like you better be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
Lynn, who's the main character that I play, Lynn is short for linoleum. Her mother gave birth to her on the kitchen floor. Her husband is on death row, and the attempts to actually execute him are thwarted because the electric chair is somewhat faulty. It only works if all of the power in the town is out. So Lynn spends a lot of her time plugging stuff in to make sure that all the lights are on because she wants to keep her husband alive. And so she's highly oversexed and highly underserviced, and is frustrated a lot of the time. And it manifests itself in sort of these smart aleck comments and quips. And I would say, like, of the three of us, she's kind of the sassy, irreverent one. Pickles is off the wall and zany, and Betty is the very grounding force, the MC sort of in a way, and Lynn is just kind of acerbic. And
it's a great threesome.